Welcome back here to the Chili Mountain Wild Tournament. I'm your host, Della. With me, I got Paradox. And how
Why,
you doing,
why are
man?
you pointing at the ceiling?
Oh,
Is
I
there
don't
something
know.
on the ceiling? I mean, I know you got
Yeah,
a good painting there in the background, but
that's nice. Anyways, we are off to the races with our next match of the day. It's the bottom of the bracket, or it's not bottom bracket. It's like the lower half of the bracket of the semifinals.
uh,
It's going to be Mazzu versus Rusinos.
yeah,
Rushino.
Rusinho, and it seems like it is going to be a very little race this time. Both these players have brought pretty similar lineups, actually. They've both
Yeah.
brought Kingsbane Rogue. They've both brought a slightly different variant of Bomb Warrior than we saw to last time. It's more reminiscent of Tempo Warrior, actually. Like, we've got Attorney Rovers, Skippers. Like, we've got the standard Pirate Engine with Anchor, and then it just tops out at Zilliax. And
And
then
Blood
the
Boy
real
Brutes.
difference, yeah, the real difference in this series is that one side has brought Zoo Warlock with the Discard engine, and the other side has brought Big Shaman.
Yeah, that's like the prayers. Like we heard a lot of praise about this shaman before we started casting because we didn't cast yesterday. And it's just like our producer just told us like, well, this shaman won in turn one last one of the games. We were like, whoa, that sounds kind of cool. That sounds wild. And I'm looking forward to see something like that happening again. That's um that's a fun experience for everyone, right? When you just lose at turn one, right?
Regrettably, for our producer, though, we've already sat through wins on turn one before that are much less exciting than that. Do you remember Barnes? Remember
Yeah.
how games were decided on turn one Barnes and how that was not fun for anyone?
Wow, it wasn't
Or
fun.
like turn four Barnes, even?
Yeah, turn
Yeah.
four Barnes. We had that in the finals in HET Oslo. I remember when Turna managed to play out because we played LHS and he managed to play Barnes on 4 in 3 games in a row and won the tournament. And it's a pretty well way of going out after a hard Swiss and top bracket.
Yeah, so I'm very glad we won't be seeing much of that anyway. The gimmick with this big shaman is instead use the really old shaman spell from Goblins versus Gnomes, Ancestor's Call, for
Or
4 mana.
Eureka for that
Puts
matter.
the hmm?
Or Eureka, both work. Ancestor's Call is put a
Yeah,
random
yeah,
minion
yeah.
from
But
each side.
Ancestor's Call is cheaper. It costs 4
Yeah.
mana. And it puts a random minion from each of us hand into the battlefield. And of course, when you're playing Big Shaman, you only play big minions like Yasharaj, Scrapyard Colossus, and Walking Fountain. And you just
Yeah,
get them over
the
2 or
first
3
minion you
turns.
have is 2 Murk Morphers, and then you have Walking Fountain, Scrapyard, and Yusharash. Rest is just spells. So yeah, it's going to be nutty. And we will
And,
see
and speaking
Shaman.
of things, I was gonna say, speaking of things that are nutty, by the way, Mazzu has 2 coerces in hand. That is very nutty against Big Shaman.
Yep. That is going to be a nice way of getting rid of anything big that might come out.
I don't know if you keep both of them though. That seems a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, they need an activator and yeah. They're still pretty good though. Won't lie. Keeping one makes sense.
Ooh, and we see here we've got the coin lightning bloom already. Now we just need Ancestor's Call and the big minion, and we're good to go.
Yep. Let's see if we can make that happen. It has to be from hand, though. It's not from deck, which would be even crazier. And that's one of the reasons why Barnes was so good, right? Because it was from deck.
Absolutely, there's the
That's
big
the big
minion.
minion.
Now we just need the Ancestor's Call, and this all shows, right? Like, Lightning Bloom is an insane card, regardless of which class you place it in. It's just that in Standard at the moment, until Blizzard decides to buff Shaman again, it doesn't see play in Shaman because Shaman sucks.
It
But
has
when
no payoff,
Shaman
right?
doesn't suck, it will see play in Shaman.
Yeah, like Lightning Bloom, it's really good, but you need like compared to like old Innovate, like which used to be 2 mana. For Lightning Bloom to be worth it, it needs to be such a payoff card that you ramp into that you can forego having less tempo next turn, right? Because of the 2 overload. And stuff like Guardian Animals definitely does that. Stuff like Ysera probably does that because, well, you just draw next turn and you summon a million dragons. So that's why it works in Druid. Shaman, you can do like some cool combo stuff, but you don't really have the huge payoff. Ooh.
Oh my god, another lightning bloom off the top for Rusinho. Like, you could go for a turn 3 walking fountain if he really wants to. I don't think he will, but he could if he wants to.
It's not bad, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
I mean, it's not great either.
True,
like,
true.
Let's see, Tundra coming down here.
Oh, there's your French Caliber. It's pretty good
Orange
for
Caliber won't
Mazzu,
be available until turn 4.
Yeah, but this Acolyte of Pain is like, yeah, well, it's like your big minions kills my stuff in one turn anyways. So should I play this Acolyte of Pain or should I try to get it with Risky Skipper and Battle Rage? Or what is the dealio for this Acolyte of Painio? And currently his hand is pretty, like, it has stuff, but it doesn't have like enough stuff.
Yep. So I imagine that you may just play Acolyte just so you can get the card draw going.
It's
so you want to save Rover, right? For Coerce as a combo activator.
Yeah, you can play Acolyte as a loot hoarder,
it's
right?
a 1/3. Yeah, the 1/3 it draws a card. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's something, right?
Ooh, decides to go with the Eternium Rover instead here.
Very interesting choice. And Mazzu is also choosing to armor up, which is a very debatable decision, because this means that his Battle Rage is going to be pretty hard to activate. But there's the Ancestor's Call, and 50% of the time, this is going to give Mazzu a Blood Bowl Brute, which is not what Rusinho is looking for at all.
Yeah. It is only three big...
If it gets Acolyte of Pain, it is the nuts.
Yeah.
But if it gets the Alpha card, oh boy, that would be a tragedy.
Yeah, for Rusinho though, like, it is 3 big minions in this warrior deck from Mazzu, right? It's 2 Blood Bowl Brutes and a Blast Master. Well, Sealax is pretty good, I guess. Ooh, here comes Harambe.
I mean, the thing is, right, is that Rusinho knows that Mazzu got a Rush minion off of the
oh, true. So it's either Sealax or Blood Bowl Brute.
Yeah. Both of which are not really what you'd want to see from Ancestor's Call.
True.
So assuming a minion is drawn, at this point, for Rusinho, it would be like 50% or 66, reasonably. The question I would have is, like, what else are you going to do with your time? Like, if you're not going to Ancestor's Call, what else are you going to do?
Serpent Shrine Portal, just for board presence?
But there's the Rich Caliber over there, man. This is going to clear whatever Rusinho develops.
Yep. He can ramp out Walking Fountain now, but then he overloads himself for 4, so he has 1 mana next turn.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being on 1 mana on turn 5, to be honest, especially when I'm ramping out only a Walking Fountain.
Yeah, only a lowly Walking Fountain.
So let's see. Time is running out. What is Rusinho gonna do? He's gotta do something. It's just a matter of what.
Like, does he have to do something though? Can he?
Oh,
just wait.
He's just in a totem.
Yeah, just wait.
Doesn't get the right totem though.
He wanted a heal totem, so he doesn't have to take 3 to the face.
Or lose the other totem, yeah.
True.
This does give Mazzu the opportunity to play a Blood Bowl Brute this turn though, for 5 mana.
It's pretty good. It's the biggest minion he has in his deck, besides Blastmaster Broom.
That is very true indeed. I believe Hack of the Scheme at this point only does 4 damage, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been there since the start, hasn't it?
So yeah, that would be 4 damage there, because it ticks up at the end of each turn.
Yep.
Let's see here. Blood Bowl Brute going to come down, get rid of both of these totems. Mazzu doesn't necessarily have to swing with the Wrench Caliber this turn, though he is going to probably use Forge.
He has a Forge of Souls to draw weapons, so...
Oh, and speaking of bombs, there's one drawn right now, and that's going to make the Walking Fountain quite a lot better.
Yeah, it draws a Muckmorpher as well.
Yeah, and you obviously go for Muckmorpher first, because that messes up Ancestor's Call. And that is a pretty big boy. 4-4 with Taunt that spits out a 7-7 with Taunt. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Get in my tummy.
It's a pretty juicy one. He would love a Yusharage or something like that, but you take those.
Yeah, you absolutely take those, right? This will force Mazzu's hand a little bit. Like now, he almost certainly has to trade the Blood Bowl Brute into the Scrapyard Colossus over there, and that puts it in range of not only Walking Fountain but also of Hagover's Scheme.
Yep,
which is good. Which is going to be very useful for Rusinho moving forward here.
Is he thinking of Lightning Blooming out that Serpent Shrine? Or like an Ancestral Call?
No, looks like we're just going to see a pass here. Another Battle Rage picked up here for Mazzu.
He can draw two with this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can trade Blood Bowl Brute and then draw 2 Battle Rage, but you're not doing much else this turn, really.
Well, Coerce, the second half.
And then hit for 1, I guess.
Makes
it's not great, is it?
No, but it's like the you need to draw more cards. You need more good stuff in your hand, right?
I suppose.
You can also Forge of Souls and then just get the Ankar and then just... I don't know.
I mean, you don't really want to leave the Scrapyard Colossus up because Rusinho runs and actually has in hand Vivid Spores. And Vivid Spores spits out any minion that it gets to gets buffed with.
Yeah, there's Ankar. So not using Battle Rage this turn, but it's using Course. Yeah.
Yeah, just gonna get rid of the other half. And ooh, there's another Scrapyard Colossus though with the Ancestor's Call. Let's see what this gives him. Scrapyard Colossus. And now Rusinho can Lightning Bloom into Vivid Spores. And that's a Scrapyard Colossus that's spitting out a 7-7 and another Scrapyard Colossus. That is scary. That is really scary.
Good. If he wants as well, he could have done the Serpent Shrine portal in addition to that, but he decided to I'm overloaded. Yeah, but I mean, you do that before the Vivid Spores, right?
Yeah, that's...
Oh.
Yeah, bad ordering. Ah, well, it's fine. Alright, let's see what the Serpent Shrine's portal spits out then. Ooh, I actually don't know what that card does. It's something to do with beasts. I just don't remember what.
It buffs beasts when you push.
Maybe we can scroll over it real quick. There we
Whenever
go.
you draw a beast,
give it +2/+2.
That's what it was. It's never been played.
Yep. It is a spider tank with useless text on it. Lovely.
It is a decent, in some situations, a decent evolve and stuff from Witchy-Lackey. If you, I've seen it. I remember I've seen it actually, in when Rogue got in for Witchy-Lackey and it draw a Pharaoh Cat or something like that, which is pretty good. It is a 3/4 when you upgrade a 2-drop is always good, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
We got a risky skipper
now. The real question now for Mazzu is how is he gonna deal with this?
Well, he has a risky skipper.
So much stats. I mean, sure he's a skipper, but how does he deal with all the stats?
He needs to draw his Brawl that he doesn't play.
Yep. And he's already used 1 Coerce at this point. So he only has 1 left.
It's a cheap Blood Bowl Brute. He will deal with the first part of this.
Yeah, but
it spits out 2 more.
That's not the issue here for Mazzu. The issue for Mazzu is that now he's out of cards.
Yeah.
Is Battle Rage will only draw one card at this point because Rusinho is obviously going to trade into both minions, and then what? All he has left is 2 weapons versus 2
Oh, he can
massive
draw an
big
extra
boys.
card if you swing with a weapon into a 7/7, which he
Yeah,
might
yeah,
do.
yeah. But you get what I mean. It's not a good situation to be in at all.
Of course. So for Rusinho, how do you lose from this position? One way you can lose is just going face here.
Looking at his hand, right? He has Walking Fountain and another Scrapyard Colossus. Like, I don't think Rusinho is planning on going face anytime soon.
No, just staying alive. There's a sword on board. Deals with another one of these, but this is yikes. There's still a 7/7 inside one of these.
Yeah, exactly. And unless you want to go for Delda's suggestion of slamming your face in, which looks to be exactly what's about to happen, yeah, this isn't a great situation to be in.
Don't you try to kill the other 7/7 so it's less damage on board? I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, same Battle Rage for 2 here. There's another Coas drawn, which can get rid of one of the 7/7s. But that's the last bit of hard removal in Mazzu's list. After this point, there's no way for him to deal with the rest of the big minions coming out here. And there's still quite a few big minions left to go, as we can see.
Yep, it will come off. Walking Fountain next turn. Oh, let's see the bomb here. Oh, misses on the bomb. 1 damage. Yikers.
Yeah. Gonna trade into the Felcrack Colossus. Okay, and there's another Walking Fountain drawn.
Yeah,
And also
gonna...
correct sequencing here from Rusinho going face 7/3 in case the bomb kills it.
Oh, 4 damage. So what do you do here? There is 15 damage showing.
Risky skipper. Like, if you're Mazzu, you gotta hope to draw a skipper, right? Or else you're just done.
Yeah, 50-50 of drawing risky skipper, haven't you?
Yeah, like there's 2 Sky Raider. Yeah. Well, let's see.
There though. It's the Sky Raider. Yeah.
Did not draw the skipper though, and that means that Mazzu's got to deal with these big boys the hard way.
He does have a sword on board. And the Sky
Yeah,
Raiders.
that's only clearing the 7/1 though. This Walking Fountain is still pushing 8 damage next turn.
Yeah. Let's see what the Sky Raider picks up.
Swashbuckler. That could get a board clear.
Could get something like a flame
So
strike.
it's from your opponent's class, right?
Oh yeah, so you could get like lightning storm.
Could get earthquake.
Earthquake is good.
Yeah, sword board coming down. Gonna clear the 7/1, and then armor up. Clockwork Goblin. Okay. It seems a little bit. I don't know how to feel about this play.
Oh,
Ancestral Spirit? Oh my goodness. Because, yeah, there's 2 of those in the Big Shaman as well.
It's just piling on and on and on and on and on.
Imagine an Ancestral Spirit being played on a Scrapyard Colossus, though. That is terrifying.
There's Lord Barrow. Okay.
Marov gets rid of the Walking Fountains sometimes. Because you still need to deal 1 damage to them, and Mazzu can't deal 1 damage to them at the moment.
Well, Swashbuckler. If it's anyone can do it, you can do it, right?
I mean, there's quite a few Shaman cards that can deal 1 damage AoE.
Yeah, Maelstrom.
Parachute Bringen, that's not gonna do it. Here we go, moment of truth. Murabi! Oh, what a disaster. Murabi strikes again. That's the worst Shaman card ever printed.
And Mazzu chooses death because even if he played like double bomb thing there was not enough bomb to kill your opponent. And yeah, wraps it up. Game number 1 here.
Praise be to Taunt Totem that even as an 0-1 was able to shield both Walking Fountains from death.
Yeah, pretty sturdy totem right there. being left by his own devices and just keeping his shaman or his walking fountains. What is even a walking fountain?
I mean, it's like an earth elemental, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know what the lifesteal part comes into it though.
I don't know, maybe because they have like there's like Fountain of Youth stored in like the earthen body of the earth elemental. That's what they call
Yeah,
a
I
walking
mean, I'm
fountain.
just looking at walking fountain, and yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't know how this thing is lifesteal, but that's not important. What's important is that Rusinho managed to get that win over the line with the big shaman, and now he is Kingsbane Rogue and his own variant of this tempo bomb warrior left.
Yeah. What is really fun with seeing all these decks in Wild is that since this is closed deck list as well, and the players knew that beforehand, it's a much higher probability they can include like weird cards that can take people off guard. And that's why we see so many variations of like the same type of deck, because there is many ways to play the same type of deck. But we will see yet again Mazzu on his warrior versus Rusinho going with the Kingsbane Rogue, and that's
obviously that Patches is getting the hell out of this hand. Get out of here, Patches. No one likes you.
It's not only a Kingsbane Rogue though. This is like a Kingsbane Pirate Rogue. Like it has ship's cannon, parachute brigands.
Well,
Of course,
don't forget though that a lot of the road cards that used to be nerfed were unnerfed going into Wild, such as everyone's favorite card, Raiding Party, which used to cost 4 mana, and now it's back to 3.
Yeah,
and
prep still
a
not
lot
being
of possibilities, and that Patches invites a lot of despair. But at least it gives a parachute brigand, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that Patches was still a terrible draw for Rusinho. Like any other pirate would have been better than that.
True, like Buccaneer or Bloodsuit Flybooter. You have so many to pick from as well.
Like Deckhand as well, yeah. And Eternium Rover is a nightmare for these aggro decks to deal with because it gives so much armor and it like deals with these minions at such a competitive stat range.
Yep. This is where we see the strength of it. It gained 4 armor and protected 3. So it basically was 7 health for 1 mana. Right there.
Yeah, speaking of other 1 mana minions that are going to be a massive pain for Kingsbane Rogue, there's Risky Skipper, which can come out next turn with her good pal Bomb Wrangler. The old standard warrior combo's back, and it's a nightmare for aggro to deal with.
Still though, Karen Shiny Finder is able to find Kingsbane. So I think he only it's the only weapon he plays.
It's the only weapon you need to play, because Kingsbane, when destroyed, shuffles back into the rogue's deck with all previous attachments.
Yeah, and very few people are playing Sticky Fingers nowadays in Wild because you have so many better cards to pick from.
Yeah, this isn't Masters Tour Montreal. We aren't seeing 16 Sticky Finger lineups to counter Bomb Warrior.
And not only that, like, so the general idea of like adding a tech card is because when you play a deck, like let's say in Standard, you play a deck and you have like 25 to 28 cards that you're like 100% sure are all to include, and you have like a couple of cards that are like, I don't have anything better, but I include them, and they're like the best for their mana cost right there.
Speaking of things that are best for their mana cost, here's Risky Skipper, the best 1 mana warrior card in the game, combined with the Acolyte Pain for additional cycle, and that is not a good hand for Rusinho. He's gonna need a
prep out a secret passage here.
Work.
But
so
yeah,
drawing 4 cards though.
It has been nerfed. That's a brigand. That's a ship. That's a deadly poison at least. Double cannon.
2 ships cannons. Okay. I mean, deadly poison is a good pickup. But regrettably, Rusinho did not draw another pirate's use of this parachute brigand, so he's only able to play 2 cards from the secret passage.
Yeah, and that's the risky run now with secret passage only drawing 4 cards. It also playing at a 4 mana makes it like a little bit more awkward as well, because you really have some issues. and how many cards you can pick up. This the Kingsbanes also need to kill this Risky Skipper because it's super scary to leave up.
Absolutely. And yeah, the rest of Rusinho's hand is not looking too great. Like, Prep Eviscerate, it's all well and good, but yeah, Mazzu is still sitting at 31 health and still has plenty of ways to make Rusinho suffer.
Yep. Sword and Board here clears the minion. You can play a Bomb Wrangler to follow up and just trade in with the Acolyte if you want. You can just plop down a Wrench Caliber and clear it if you want that. So you have plenty of options.
So I guess Wrench Caliber is probably the safest play because it gives you the weapon to use next turn.
Yeah, everything else could just get eaten by that Kingsbane. Except Wrench Caliber, because Wrench Caliber can't be killed by a Kingsbane. Because Wrench Caliber is a weapon. Okay, let's see what the top deck is, though. It's not good.
I mean, Dread Corsair is alright, but
you were really looking for some card draw, raiding party, cutting class, something like that right now.
absolutely, yeah. And now, like, what Rusinho really needs is, yeah, like you said, cutting class or secret passage, just some way to keep this pressure going, because this Kingsbane only has 2 charges left. And once those charges are gone, the amount of damage Rusinho is going to be able to deal is going to be very limited indeed.
It's Blastmaster, boom. So with these bombs being able to be shuffled in, there will be 3 bombs in total with that Clockwork Goblin, meaning Blastmaster Boom will have full value unless Rusinho actually picks up some sort, or if he actually picks the bombs, right? That's the problem. So how do you do this with Mazzu? Do you take 3 to develop something? Hero power?
So what are you developing this turn? Bomb Wrangler, I guess? Or maybe Clockwork Goblin?
Both are valid options. You can do like double 3-drop next turn, or 3-drop Coerce next turn if it's anything big. But like this deck doesn't play any big minions. Like Dread Corsair is the biggest minion they play.
Yeah, because again, like the whole point of this Kingsbane rogue deck is to finish the game by like turn 5 or 6 with a massive Kingsbane, and just unfortunately the stars did not align for Rusinho this game. He just was not able to find any of the really important early game aggro cards he needed.
Well, not only that, the early Eternian Rover also put a halt to his plan in general.
Yeah, with the 7 extra health, but I think it was like the Rover and the Risky Skipper like in tandem with each other. Like giving the 7 armor and then clearing the board like, almost right afterwards.
That's a Cavern Shiner Finder though. That means you can find your Kingsbane again right off the bat, but is that enough?
I was about to say true, yeah, but the problem is, right, it's just even if you have a 3/3 Kingsbane, the warrior is still at 25 health and is going to get 2 armor every turn. So I don't think Mazzu's going to give you 24 turns to kill him. Or like however many turns it would be. Like it's just unrealistic.
Yeah, he needs to find like this helps a little bit, but he needs to find like cutting class or raiding party or something that draws him cards, like secret passage or something like that. And this really shows that due to him drawing the second prep instead of any playable card, and he had to use the secret passage that early and only getting to play 2 cards of the secret passage really hurt him. If he was able to like, if that that prep that he used on the secret passage was like basically any other card, he could play that instead and not having to play secret passage, and having secret passage now being able to actually do something because he has more mana to spare and probably play all the 4 cards. The important part also with the secret passage is that in addition to the fact that secret passage like just draws you 4 cards to play, it also thins your deck with 4 cards, so you have a higher probability to actually hit like Tinker Sharpscrow Royal, cutting class, all that kind of juice as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we also see Mazzu picking up the second Risky Skipper, so any future board that Rusinho is going to generate is just going to get immediately quashed. And Buccaneer, where were you 6 turns ago, my dude? You could have buffed this Kingsbane by so much if you came any time earlier, but yeah, I think the writing's on the wall at this point for Rusinho. I honestly don't know how he wins this game from here.
Yeah, the other problem with Kingsbane is like Kingsbane used to be like a weapon you can also use in control matchups, right? Because Kingsbane had you can put leech on it that lasted for the rest of the game, so you had lifesteal, and then you can just outlast anyone with that. And the rogue used to play like a mill rogue-ish with Kingsbane as like heal and removal.
As basically infinite value, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they nerfed it so it was only a 1-turn buff.
Yeah, and then Kingsbane suddenly needed to be like super aggressive. But the thing with super aggressive decks is that they can just sometimes just falter. Because still in this meta we are now, specifically for Rogue, because they play like double prep, you can have so many dead turns like we see here, because prep taking up like a card slot and everything like that. Like Hunter can get away with it because all their cards is impactful in some way. Meanwhile, here you are just like, oh, prep is basically useless. Evis is only damage, right?
I'm gonna make a bet of you real quick, Delta. I think Rusinho is gonna concede next turn, like every time.
Well, this
and I'll let you figure out why that is.
Oh, Blastmaster Boom comes down, or Risky Skipper and like card draw and Armor Smith and everything comes down.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
no matter what.
Now though, because you're not really in any danger of dying, so this just seems unnecessary. But again, I really don't see how Rusinho gets that from here. Like, this is so much armor, so much pressure, so much card draw, so much of literally everything.
Yeah, that's another dead draw for Rusinho here. And I will.
And not the British player either.
Yeah, not the good dead draw. It's just the bad dead draw. And seems like Mazzu is tying this series up 1-1 here with his warrior, which is, to be fair, quite expected because, like, with Risky Skipper, you're so favored in this matchup.
Yeah, and of course, Rusinho is not giving up, but I don't know, man. I don't see it. I'm trying, guys, I swear, but, like, Mazzu is still at 37 health, and this Kingsbane only has 2 charges left, and both Shiny Finders are gone, like... I don't know.
He needs Secret Passage off the top next turn to have any sort. Oh, there's comes Bloodblade Brood.
I don't even know if that would be enough. Like, all Mazzu needs to do here is just trade Acolyte, trade the bomb, then just blast Master Boom and the game's over.
Yep.
But what can Rusinho do against that?
Yeah, he's setting up lethal if he does that as well. Decides to go with the Forge of Souls instead. Oh, which is another way of, like, basically set up lethal in a way.
11 health, 9 on board, 2 from the weapon.
Speaking of, here is Secret Passage off the top here. Will you spend the prep for this? You don't need to prep that out when you have this amount of mana, though, usually, but I guess.
It's probably just the acceptance of, well, I have to play all my cards this turn, but
there's
I can tell you now, all of those cards look like they're doing a whole lot of nothing.
Oh, it is a free cutting class. That helps. You can get another free cutting class. Yeah,
and you can sap the
5/6.
Oh, and you can go deckhand into or like ship's cannon into the sharp sword oil, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, I don't see how Rusinho
no charger oil.
Here. I don't see
it's going to be an uphill battle. Not that's for sure.
No, I genuinely think he's just dead in 2 turns. Like, this Kingsbane cannot be tutored for anymore. So even though this weapon is going to be massive, it's not going to get drawn right off the top again.
It's not going to be that massive either. It's a 5. It's like a 5/3.
I mean, it's going to be like, what, an 11/3 when both of the Tinker's Oil are played, but again, like, he won't last that long because Kingsbane doesn't have lifesteal, so he's just dead in 2 turns.
Yeah. It's just depending on how Mazzu wants this to go down. I would love to see like the first bomb hit here. See.
What now?
Is there any way you can guarantee lethal? No, you don't have a whirlwind effect.
Yep. Well, I mean, there is a way you can guarantee lethal. It's just hit both bombs into the ship's cannon. Both bombs hit Rogue for 4, and then he's kill him with the red caliber. But, it seems unnecessary, right?
Yeah, just playing ultra safer. Not putting on any pressure though. Besides weapon, of course, and the 2 bombs here, which is enough pressure.
I think Mazzu and Euro just played this game way too safe.
Yeah.
Like, Blast Master Boom would have ended this game like 2 turns ago if he just played it, but...
Yeah, raiding party.
And actually, yeah, I lied. Raiding party can cheer out Kingsbane. My bad. But even then, like, he's still just dead.
Oh, he's 1 off. Well, he is actually dead, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, he's actually dead.
Due to like it's 1 off, but bombs will kill it.
Bombs almost certainly do enough damage here.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
He's trying his best though.
So this will be a 10-3 Kingsbane at this point if he used the Tinker Shops of Oil.
Removes all the armor here. And
then he's dead.
Oh, he's 1 off.
The only way that Rusinho isn't dead here is if this boombot like hits the minion. Like the boombot hits the minion like 50% of the time. That's the only way.
And that's 4 damage, more than enough, and yeah.
Well,
He could hit phase for 1 though, or both.
Yeah, I guess, but at that point, wait, hold on. I just need to remind myself of what Coerce does. Coerce. No, it would still be lethal because what you would do in that instance is you would go Blast Master Boom Coerce, and you would just Coerce your own Boombot.
Oh yeah, true. That works. Yeah,
I just had to check to be sure it's not like Execute, because like Execute is something you could only hit enemy minions with, as we all know from olden times with Execute Sylvanas. But
yeah,
nah,
that's,
I was about to say,
good old times.
Coerce can hit your own minions, thankfully.
Anyways, that's another one onto the board here, and the bomb warrior takes a win, and the Kingsbane roll goes down.
Well, Kingsbane Rogue's got to win eventually because both players have brought it.
Yeah, that will be.
It might just come down to like the Kingsbane mirror, where like one side wins with the warrior against the Kingsbane, the other side wins with the warrior against the Kingsbane, and then game like 5 will be just Kingsbane mirror to see who draws like the nuts first.
Oh, we will see here. It's going to be, yeah, Kingsbane versus warrior.
Yep.
Of course it will be.
The other side of the matchup this time. Let's see if anything different happens this time. I mean, Rusinho already has Skipper, which is like the best card in the matchup by far.
Best card in the deck in this matchup by far, indeed. Alongside, like, there's also so many good cards for that he can combo with as well. He just needs to pick up.
See, South Sea deck can draw on that will fish out Patches, the pirate, from Mazzu's deck whenever he wants to do that. And obviously you want to fish out Patches as soon as possible, just to ensure that you don't draw it from either your deck or from cards like Raiding Party.
Yeah. And this comes back to what I said as well. Like, a lot of the aggro decks nowadays need to draw so many more cards than they used to do back in the days.
Wait a minute. Why did they not get Patches? Hold on.
Oh, doesn't Mazzu play Patches?
Mazzu plays Patches, yeah.
What? Has he forgotten to put Patches into the deck?
All of players play Patches the pirate in their rogue list, from what we've seen. So, Blizzard, why is there no Patches on my board game? That's not good. Did Mazzu forget to submit the wrong list?
Maybe.
Ooh. That's a bad sign.
That's a bad sign. Maybe this is completely wrong.
Well, hopefully one of the members of staff will try to give us an answer on that one after the game is over. But yeah, even Rusinho's like, wait a minute, why is there no patches on the board? I mean,
Like,
for
every
his
rogue play patches.
like from the perspective of Rusinho, it might just be, oh, he just drew patches. But from our perspective, we see no, he just doesn't have patches in his deck.
Now is a player reconnect issue here.
I'm pretty sure that's an issue for Rusinho, so hopefully he'll be back with us shortly.
It might be patches causing issues. Patches is just sitting there. It's like, you forgot to put me in the deck, you moron. Here's some disconnection issues. Go. I'm gonna let you play.
Okay, yeah, it is Rusinho. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to sort that out as soon as possible. Try to see if we can get this game back on track.
It is a shame that we can't just always have perfect internet and sit at a LAN party next to each other where there's no such problem unless someone...
We're not all like you though. We can't all just have like 24/7 LAN parties in Norway and Sweden at DreamHack like every weekend, unfortunately.
That's true.
Some of us live in England with terrible internet.
That's true.
And some of us live in Australia with non-existent internet.
Well, yeah, or the US for that matter. It's places in the US which doesn't have that great internet either, and that's just how it is. Like, not everyone can be a fiber nation. And
yeah, I was supposed to say, not all of us can have massive oil fields, but yeah, there we go.
yeah,
So
we are back.
skip a little bit by, and it seems like Rusinho managed to get a Eternium rover. In fact, he has 2 of them. So I think this might also be a pretty quick game.
At least Mazzu has a lot of card draw. He doesn't have anything else, but he has a lot of card draw. And yikes.
Let's see. Ship's cannon draw, but no pirates to use it with.
It's gonna cut in class, I guess. He needs to find something to... Yeah, there's something to go.
Weapon to raiding party is pretty good next turn.
We'll get him the Kingsbane. We'll get him Deadly Poison onto it. Yeah. Next turn looking pretty sweet here.
Yeah, this might be a better demonstration of what the Kingsbane Rogue can actually do this game. Because we see here, like, a lot of the stars are starting to align for Mazzu, right? He has Raiding Party to fish out Kingsbane. He is cutting close to the right store cards. He has
But Rusinho is just like, well, if you're not going to be the aggro deck, I'm going to be the aggro deck.
Yeah, and he even has the Skipper Acolyte next turn to enable all of these self-damage bonus minions as well.
And refill in his like dull turn before he goes with Dr. Boom. Yeah, so become prep raiding party, not as strong as it used to be, but it's still strong enough. Buccaneer, Parachute Brigand, and Kingsbane. So we will play the Buccaneer first.
No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll play Ship's Cannon first, mate.
Oh yeah, Ship's Cannon first, yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll go Buccaneer into Kingsbane. There you go. Because Ship's Cannon, for those who do not know, is a 2/3 minion that says whenever a pirate is summoned, it deals 2 damage to a random enemy. And of course, with 2 pirates being played, that'd be 4 damage split across 2 enemy targets.
The problem here is, like, is it better to Kingsbane Deadly Poison now and just get rid of that 1/3?
But it seems like that's what's gonna
happen.
happen.
You can also add a cutting class to that, and then you can do the full like pirate combo next turn. Yeah, because you don't want extra bombs. Ooh. This can be pretty spicy next turn. Double Ship's Cannon into Buccaneer and Southly Deckhand. Yummy.
I'll show you who's boss.
Meanwhile, Rusinho is just, well, you kill a 3/3. Here, let's have some armor and some card draw and some more stuff. Try to deal with this. That's a Dread Corsair as well.
This is going to be a very spicy turn here, Delta. Look at this.
It's going to be fireworks.
This was a Ship's Cannon, Deckhand, Dread Corsair. You might see a weapon hit come in. Actually, no, all the minions have 2 health, right? Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter on this turn.
Goes with 3/3 first, just in case you hit the bomb. so you don't
Yeah,
kill the...
look at this. The board's just getting decimated right now.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Unfortunately, one of the cannons died, so that wasn't quite a perfect board clear, but that was pretty darn close.
Pretty darn close indeed here, and ooh, decides to go face here.
Huh? I mean, Rusinho's already used. Oh, he's going to use the Kingsbane to trade into the minion. Okay.
Yeah, Mazzu really showing how to play this deck in a different fashion. Here comes Revenge Caliber though. We'll be able to shuffle in a few bombs. Can also coin
where
out.
is this Boombot going to land? If it lands face, then suddenly Rusinho's going to be playing a pretty aggressive game here. It does not. So I guess you go Buccaneer in... Actually, huh. Yeah, I guess you go Buccaneer into Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil this turn, right? Even though it's a 50-50, like, you'd still rather want to use Secret Passage next turn when it's a bit better for you. And it lands on the correct minion. That's really good for
exactly
Mazzu.
what you needed there. And also hitting here because Secret Passages can pick up Kingsbane. Or Shiny Finders or anything that might give you Kingsbane. And with that, that's a lot of pressure for Rusinho here. Needs to elevate some of it. And
yeah, suddenly it's down to 14. But here comes Blastmaster Boom, which is going to spit out, I believe, 2. Oh, it's going to spit out all 6 Boombots.
Oh,
and that's a bomb being drawn as well, so this is threatening lethal at this point. But there's the Kingsbane.
So we have 8 damage showing.
9 damage, don't forget, because Buccaneer's in play as well. Yeah.
That's true.
So now I imagine we're going to go for Secret Passage. 5 damage needs to come off of this Secret Passage, or else he is dead. And that's a Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, and that's going to be lethal.
Wow.
Oh, and Eviscerate for good measure.
Just for good measure. Perfect. Perfect. Everything. With the Kingsbane equipped, everything just lines up perfectly here. Even without the Kingsbane, that would have been lethal, wouldn't it? Yeah. Just because of having such a good Secret Passage there. And wow. Mazzu taking the 2-1 and only has to win with his, well, with his own.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit concerned as to why Apache's the Pirate didn't show up on turn 1 that game. Hopefully one of the members of staff will get that resolved for us. Yeah. But in the end, like, Mazzu still won. It's just... well, anyway, he's still got his warrior left to go, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't it Zoo Warlock?
Oh yeah, Zoolock. Yeah, you're right. I was looking at Rusinho. Yeah. So let's just keep going for now.
There is a Zoo Warlock, and yeah, and then we have to win with the Kingsbane and the Warrior here. So the Warrior should be okay, right? Where's the Zoo Warlock?
Zoo? I would imagine so, unless the Zoo gets off to a ridiculous start.
Yeah, the problem is, like, this Warlock doesn't run like Brawls, which is usually really good, but it does run stuff like Risky Skipper and like Armor Smiths and everything like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Looks like we're going to be getting into game number 4 here. It's going to be the Zoolock against the Templar Warrior. And as far as opening hands are concerned, we see here for Rusinho, he's got the Armor Smith and the Town Crier. Pretty sure you don't keep Armor Smith against Zoolock specifically, but Town Crier is a very useful minion to get on turn 1 to control the board and give you additional value later on. As for Mazzu here, Soulfire and Hand... Let's see, Soulfire and Voidwalker aren't really what you're looking for on turn 1. This, though, this is looking very appealing. Dark Glare and Flame Imp. Because Dark Glare did recently get nerfed into being a 2-3 for 2 mana, rather than being a 3-4 for 3 mana. And now whenever you take damage, you only get 1 mana crystal restored to you. So now Flame Imp and Life Tap and other, like, damage cards do not give you extra mana. just going to be very significant here. But yeah, do you see Dark Lair coming down on 1? Because then it means that Flamer potentially costs 0 mana next turn, and is going to allow Mazzu to get a much bigger lead in the early game, which is going to be crucial here in order to ensure that the warrior is going to not be able to like get the time it needs to establish the setup that it needs to win. So warrior wouldn't be able to find like anchor, risky skipper, etc.
Yeah, it's like this Dark Lair being nerfed is quite a huge thing though, and will not be able to go as crazy as we're used to, but it will still do a fair amount here in the coming turns.
Mm-hmm.
Get like a free flame imp is always good.
Yep, as well as a tiny Knight of Evil. So at this point, Mazzu would really love to draw Expired Merchant at this point. That would be beautiful if that was to happen.
Let's see here. For Rusinho's part, though, there's like not that good of drops here. He's lacking a bunch of important cards like Risky Skipper to really make this hand pop off. If he gets Risky Skipper, though, he can suddenly just like play Risky Skipper with like an Armor Smith and double Bloodwild Brute and just like completely take back the board. But currently, this hand is looking way too stacked to do anything of that sort.
So what are we going to do on turn 3 here as Rusinho? Are we just going to play the Bomb Wrangler just to try to keep up, or what? Like, this is a great situation to be in as the warrior, to be honest.
Yeah, like Bomb Wrangler, like just get eaten by that Flame Imp, but it still spawns a bomb. But you're leaving up Dark Lair, which will give Mazzu some free mana. But it's like how important is that free mana? He decides to go with the Courage and just using it as an execute. Which is a fine deal, I guess, but that's a Void Walker. So we'll probably see a tap here because...
Well, you've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, it's exactly... Nothing better to do. This Doomguard is... Like, this hand with this guard synergy is really good. It's just that you kind of need to tap now, and then you hopefully play like 2 things next turn. So your Doomguard has a really high chance of hitting Fist of Jiraxxus and have them go down.
Yeah. You also ideally want this Tiny Knight of Evil to stick around as well to turn 5. Because Tiny Knight of Evil gets +1/+1 whenever you discard a card from your hand. So obviously if Doomguard, that'd be +2/+2, and all of these are hand discard bonus effects.
Another Bomb Wrangler, and now it's actually a little bit better with the Bomb Wrangler because you can attach the Celiax to the bomb if you need. Ooh.
Another Doomguard drawn. Oh no. This is not looking good here for Mazzu. I think he may have to trade the Voidwalker into the Town Crier and then just launch a Fist of Jiraxxus.
Hardcast the Fist of Jiraxxus? Ooh.
I mean, it sucks, but like 50% of the time it clears its minion, 50% of the time it goes face. I think that's the best compromise you can really hope for.
Both options are okay, so... Like, you are pressuring 6 damage this turn anyways. And you have a Doomguard next turn that... Well, at least... like, on average, at least discard 1 thing. That is good for you.
Yeah. So there we go, trading the Voidwalker. Yeah, here comes Fist of Jiraxxus. Let's see. Where does it land? It lands on the minion. That's actually really good for Mazzu, because now you can go face with Tiny Knight of Evil and then trade Flame Imp.
What is face with both?
I mean, he knows 2 rush minions have been added to Rusinho's hand, so I'm not too happy with this decision, but okay. This does open the door now for this Boombot to then trade into the Voidwalker, and then have a much cleaner shot at clearing another minion.
Oh, goes face.
Oh, it goes face. That's actually really good. Yeah, it's really good for Mazzu.
Means that there is no full clear. He can clear off the Tiny Knight of Evil, but it still leaves a 3/2 up. Then the Doomguard comes down. Unless the Doomguard discards The other Doom
Doom
Guard and
Guard
whatever.
and the card drawn off the top, which would be a tragedy. But
need
you
the
can't play around
hard
that. Like, Doom Guard has a lot of potential to be insane this turn. I think you have to go for it.
You always go for it, right?
Like,
It is-
even at worst, it's a 5/7 with charge that can just trade into Zilliax.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you absolutely go for Doom Guard here. There's no question in my mind.
So many possibilities.
Like, what's
Doom
the
Guard
other
also
option?
empties your hand as well, which means you're more likely to get cards like this Fellstalker to hit the discard cards layer as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless, like, the worst case scenario, Doomguard hits Doomguard and Fellstalker. Then you're a little bit of trouble.
I wonder.
But
That's really unlikely, though.
yeah, that's really unlikely. If it hit, but the high roll potential here with Fist of Jaxus and Hand of Gul'dan is just absolutely nutty.
Yeah, like, if you hit that, you almost certainly just win the game.
Yeah, and if you hit like only Fist of Jiraxis, that's fine as well, right? Because if
Like,
that
if
hits
you
Zilliax,
hit Fist of Jiraxis and Fist the Zilliax, that's also insane. Because then you
Yeah.
hit Fate for 8 damage.
yeah,
and
there's
you
so
prevent
many
Freaking
good
Warrior.
options here. So let's see
Alright,
what it's gonna be.
happen. The Fist of Jiraxis, and it went to Fate. But at the same time, though, it didn't discard Doomguard. That
Yeah.
means next turn you can just go Doomguard plus Hand of, and then it discards Hand of Gul'dan. And it's
here
still
comes the
really
Bloodlust.
good.
Let's see what's up the top.
Oh,
Malagazar's aim.
Imp! Oh my god, that's a
perfect.
0 mana sprint delta. That's insane.
The sprint that summons a Doomguard.
Oh my god, that is nuts. Even
And with the
Nightshade
Nightshade Matron as well. Yikes.
I don't like the trade of the Doomguard though. I probably would have just traded Flame and went face of Doomguard. Because Doomguard doesn't have rush, it has charge. So you
Yeah,
can
a
go
lot of
face.
people forget though, because we haven't had new charge minions in a while. So unless you play a lot of charge minions in wild, it's you don't think about it. But yeah, this keeps a more healthy board for next turn though. It's true.
That is true, but I'd
It also
rather have a
pushes less
5/7
damage.
I'd rather have a 5/7 than a
5/2 and a
5/2 and
3/2.
a 3/2 that just died to
I-
risk skip, right?
I agree. Rusinho here is struggling though with finding out what he drew no risky skipper. Like risky skipper off the top here would still be like insanely good, but unfortunately no such thing. There's isn't even a way to kill off Lord Barrow.
Yeah, not this turn. So yeah, that's what we're going to be seeing. Route number 2 here, going to trade into Doomguard. And now this Nightshade Matron is going to draw 4 extra cards for Mazzu here by discarding Hand of Gul'dan once again.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So the question is if you want to Solarium first or after.
I mean, you don't need to Solarium this turn, I would think. Like, if you're just going to Hand of Gul'dan and draw 4 anyway.
True. Here comes the Hand of Gul'dan, Silverware Golem, Kobold, and another Nightshade. And a Fellstalker. This... Okay.
Silverware Golem being the most expensive card in Mazzu's hand means that next turn, if he goes for another Nightshade Matron, it would also spit out a Silverware Golem onto the board.
If it is the next turn.
I'm pretty sure there will be a next turn. I don't really see a way that Rusinho can... I guess like he doesn't have Skipper. If he had Skipper, sure, I guess. Let's see, you're gonna see the Librarian, gonna draw a card. Soulfire. Okay. Gonna Soulfire on the Blood Boil Brew. Doesn't discard any of the one.
Oh, Fellstalker. That's another
Ooh,
Silverware
that's
Golem.
another Silverware Golem though.
And that's a lot of damage presented there. All of it needs to be cleared. No risky skipper picked up here. Do you just Battle Rage for 1 and just hope for the best?
I mean, you could, yeah, you could Forge of Souls, draw Anchor, and then Anchor draws Risky Skipper, and then you go Risky Skipper Armor Smith. That would be an exactly 8 mana turn that would clear everything apart from the Nightshade Matron and give you 2 armor. It wouldn't be ideal, but it would be something.
Hmm.
I wonder.
Other option is just Battle Rage. Oh, you can do weapon Battle Rage, and then get if you have managed to hit the Risky Skipper, that you can go Risky Skipper Lord Barrow, or just Battle Rage Risky Skipper Lord Barrow. That's not a Risky Skipper though. That means Rusinho is dead. I can't see a way. You can't even kill your Lord Barrow, right? So yeah.
No, you can't. So yeah, Mazzu is going to take the series and move on to the finals. If I'm
Well
not
played by Mazzu.
Yep.
Well played by Mazzu there at the end there with this Zoo Warlock, which I found like, yes, he didn't get like the ultimate outcome from Doomguard, which is a risky running, because when you're running with like Nightshade Matrons and Expired Merchants, like we used to see, you always hit Hadal go down, right? Because it's the highest cost thingy, and that's something that Blizzard has added lately, right, to the game, where it's more
Who
targeted
knew the
discard.
only way to make discard Warlock viable is just to print like random discard cards for Warlock over the course of like 5 years?
Yeah, true.
Like,
And then we have another semifinals coming up very soon after a short break. It's going to be Butters versus Battle Tagger. And we will be right back with that and then see who goes to the finals. So don't go anywhere, guys.
see you guys soon.